All right. Good afternoon, morning, whichever it is. Today is Friday, September 25th, and we have our fireside chat for the week. So this week we did a little written thing on idealism, right? And I've almost got them all graded. Boy, it's a lot of grading I had this week. I've only got a few left, so I'll finish them off by this afternoon, hopefully. And then next week we're getting into materialism. Now I just wanted to reiterate, after grading a lot of the idealism ones, a few sort of issues to keep in mind. Some people did very well, so there's nothing to worry about. But with other folks, it appeared as if maybe people are not watching the videos that I put on there. Remember, I'm not expecting you to read this book on your own and just, start writing essays. I have put video lectures on there for a reason. To break the readings down and that sort of thing. So remember, the whole system here, the logic is you read it on your own, and then there's a reading quiz just to kind of force you to read it. And then after you've tried, then you look at the videos where I sort of explain and we workshop together sort of the reading, so what you read makes sense. That's the whole point. And at the end you do a summary paper wherein it sort of quickens your understanding of what we've talked about together and what you've read. So that's the logic of these things. So good essays, and again, this is all in the stuff that I've given you already, so do read it over. But good essays will, one, answer the question. A lot of people just gave me a summary of the books, and I am aware also that you can get these summaries online just about anywhere. So don't give me online stuff. I want you to read the text. I know it's easy to try to do this as easily and quickly as possible without reading the book. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know that people don't like reading much anymore. But nevertheless, that's the whole point of this course. So please don't do that. So one, make sure you answer the question. Two, make sure you engage the text. That's the whole thing. You could speak in very general terms and answer the question by reading an online synopsis and never having cracked the text. And for that you won't get the best marks. I want you to show me how the text leads you to your answer, kind of concept. So anyway, that's just a little advice on these things. If you didn't do so good on the first one, well, you know what, just take it as a learning experience and drive on. We've got several of these things. So one in which you messed up is not going to kill you. Now, we're moving forward here into materialism. So we've been talking about metaphysics, we talked about idealism, and now we're about to talk about materialism. In terms of idealism, here's the thing. Justice exists on a couple levels. There's the practical, and there's the ideal. In other words, the idea of. Don't get confused by ideal and best. That's not what we're talking about. So remember the cave metaphor? The whole point of the cave metaphor and the divided line metaphor was to tell us that there's a reality of things that you only understand but cannot see or touch. And that level, what he called the in itself or the form, that's what is truly real. That was his point. Therefore, anything physical or anything about our self-interests in the tangible world is not real. So if capitalist says that justice is about paying your debts and telling the truth, he means that in a tangible way. He understands that in terms of bartering with the gods, if you recall. And so it can't be the real definition of justice because it's tangible about his own self-interest. Real justice can't be so easily defined as one particular tangible thing. So the whole thing about idealism, right, is that what is real is intangible. It's invisible, as Plato said, and we only have access to it through reason. So the way to attain the real is ultimately philosophy, through wisdom of what is real, and not the practical world. Now, when we get to materialism with Aristotle, we're arguing the exact opposite. Aristotle is going to, instead of arguing for justice itself and all this kind of stuff, he is going to be arguing that reality is in fact of substance, that is a material thing. So he's going to be arguing the exact opposite of Plato. But if you understand Plato and idealism, then you'll understand more what I mean when I say that he is opposite. So if you think about the divided line and the four levels of reality, Plato said that number four, that is the in itself, the form, is real. Whereas Aristotle is going to be arguing that number two, the thing, the substance, that in fact is real. So they have completely different polar opposite views of what is. And that's where we're going this week. Don't forget to use the discussion boards. Nobody is using the discussion boards. The greatest fear I have in an online course, because I'm not in a classroom to actually look, read people's faces and stuff, and ask rhetorical questions. So I can't force you guys to understand. But my worst fear in this is that you take this course, you go to Spark Notes, and you somehow, fool your way through, but really learn nothing. That's not what I want. I'd be doing a disservice to you and the community and the Republic. What we're after is, can you understand this cool stuff? That's what I'm doing, what I'm hoping to be able to do. And the discussion boards is the only place where we can actually hammer out our questions. So please don't, assume that this is just you versus the text. It's just very difficult to generate discussion, genuine discussion, in this online forum. It's kind of up to you to come to the public with a question. So please use them. Those boards I can even make little videos of explanation or whatever the case may be. But please use them and ask questions. Have a good weekend.